Good morning, good morning, good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. Hope everyone is well. Happy Sunday to you, wherever you are in the world. Looking outside, it's a lovely Sunday here in London, so hope it is wherever you are. Yes, mainly a Tottenham Hotspur show, but we have to start, don't we? We have to start by talking about Man City. Treble winners, love them, hate them, love the football, hate the tiki-taka, whatever. They are treble winners. They have thoroughly deserved it. They've been the best team over the course of the season. I think they've lost something like one in their last 29 games of football. And even then, it was a meaningless game to Brentford in the Premier League when the Premier League was already won. They've swept aside Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Man United, RB Leipzig. They've just swept teams aside. And they have finally won the Champions League. And to be honest, I thought it was quite a timid first half from both clubs. I felt that Inter Milan had no interest in attacking at all. I genuinely felt like they were there to do a hatchet job, sit back, park the bus, see what could happen. And I think it frustrated Man City, and it wasn't the best half. But then the second half came to life a bit more. Man City up the tempo a tiny bit. And the problem is, as I said yesterday, fair play, Inter Milan, wonderful defensive performance. If anyone wants a lesson in how to defend in numbers, that is how you defend in numbers. But as I said to the people that were sitting with me throughout the whole game, that tactic only works all the while it's 0-0. As soon as you go a goal down, you rip up those tactics, and what do? Man City, look, they survived a few scares, but let's be really, really, really honest. The other end, I mean, Phil Foden could have had a couple, Haaland could have had a couple more. So look, a great game for the neutral. Some great saves from Ederson, some dark arts tackling from both clubs, some rolling around. So it was just great to watch, and well done to City. We have to say that. You always get some people, though, like as always, my mate Gareth Classics comes right in and again says Pep the genius only required £1 billion to get a single title. Imagine what he could do with serious backing. You always get some people who feel like this, but if you look down the line of teams that win big things, they've all spent ridiculous amounts of money. Real Madrid win it how often? And they've just dropped 100 million on Jude Bellingham. They might drop 100 million on Harry Kane. They paid 60 million for a 16-year-old about a month ago. Barcelona have won it a lot. Look how much money they spend. You can spend all the money in the world you like. If you do not have a game plan, if you do not have an ethos, a structure, a plan, you don't get anywhere. And I think anyone looking at this and thinking, oh my God, with this attitude, tells me a little bit about them, and the word jealousy really, really does spring to mind. Let's see who's in the chat. Please smash that like button as you enter. Please smash the like button as you exit as well. And we have got the Spurs review tonight at 8 p.m. when we'll be having a look at the mass exodus that's about to happen. We'll also be looking at what is going to come in, because the transfer window is active. I mean, it technically doesn't open until, I think, Thursday, but clubs are making moves. Players are going, players are coming in. We need to not be late to that party. We've got Lucky Singh, who's in the house. Man City players, excellent hard work, never want to get beat. Yeah, a very hard-working team indeed. We're going to talk about Phil Foden in a little bit. They had some wonderful performers this season, didn't they? And he is one of them. Paul Ison says, unpopular opinion, I'd like to see James Ward-Prowse in the 6, receiving the ball in the half turn, breaking lines of passes. Until I see what centre-backs we have, I don't know whether we need someone defensive. Paul, great point. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? At the moment, we kind of need to see what we do all over the pitch from a Tottenham Hotspur perspective, don't we? What type of centre-backs do we get? Obviously depends on what number 6 we get, depends on what we do out wide, so it's a knock-on effect. But yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with your point. Oh, you love it. Proud to be a Geordie. Championship Walker gets benched. Pep wins the Champions League. My football is incredible. Love it. Big up to Proud to be a Geordie. Where are we? Bun that Zoo said, congratulations, City. Unbelievable team and achievement. Yeah, they are. They are phenomenal what they've done. Everyone had written them off as well, Bun that Zoo. Everyone had written them off. Oh my God, Haaland's made them worse. all that kind of stuff. And here they are, 9-10 months after buying him, having won absolutely everything. And we'll talk about Erling Haaland a little bit later. Proud to be a Geordie. Unless my team is winning, I'd rather see foreign teams lift it, but I'm a bitter Spurs fan. We're all bitter Spurs fans, Paul. It comes from not winning anything. Big up, 10-inch Alan Sibley said, good morning all. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, please do that. Bet Savva is wearing a black T-shirt. He's not. He's wearing his 1982 England top. There we go. This is the England shirt from the year I was born. Obviously, this wasn't my shirt when I was born, but Barry and Baxter said, hit the likes for the hardest working content creator. Thank you. I do try my best. I do try and work hard. Winter Surfer said, morning, Savva. Guys, please like and share the video and subscribe to this great channel. Thank you very much. Look, let's see what we can do for the subscribers. We're chasing down 6,000, and we are just over 250 away. Ian said, Jose joins Ange with a treble. Do you mean Pep? Does that mean to say Pep, Ian? By the way, yeah, I did think these two were absolutely outstanding yesterday. I think anyone who knows me knows that my favourite player in the Premier League is Rodri. I think he is absolutely phenomenal. This man, when we talk about world class, this man has everything and is one of the best players I've seen play in the Premier League. He is phenomenal. I've never seen a man dictate games like this man does from deep lying. Just brilliant. Jay Jr. has said, really Savva thought the game last night was awful quality, no real clear-cut chances. But just because there was no real clear-cut chances doesn't mean there wasn't any real quality. I mean, there was hardly any clear-cut chances for City because Inter Milan were defensively, I mean, it was until the 75th minute, that was a defensive masterclass. You know, I think we get caught up with thinking that unless a game's really wide open and everyone has 10 shots each, that it's not quality. But hey, that's just me. Daniel Harris said, glad to have seen history, but as a Spurs fan, does it not make you feel hopeless of ever being close to that? Good. Daniel, I gave up. I gave up thinking that ages ago. Of course. You watch that and you just think, oh, that would never be us. Of course it wouldn't. We've not got the owners for it. We've not got the stomach for it. And unfortunately, other clubs have. And I can see Newcastle doing that maybe in the future. You could see Man United under Qatari owners. We've already seen Man United do it. So, yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. PSG dropping money didn't help them because this is what I think people like Garage Classics don't understand, proud to be a Geordie. Look how much money Man U spent in the last decade. They've spent more than Man City. And look at them. Right, Man City are winning trebles and have won the league 5 out of 6 years because you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan. You've got to be coached and look at the way Man City play. Just phenomenal coaching, and people want to discredit that. And I do always find it a little bit cringy and embarrassing to get those players year after year after year to keep running through brick walls for you. Is an art. Whilst I do not like City, I love watching UK teams dominating Europe. I can only dream of Spurs being like that in my mid-40s, so likely won't see it. I hear you. I mean, look, English teams don't dominate Europe. I think we've won 2 of the 3 this year, but I wouldn't say that we dominate Europe. Last year, we didn't win a single European trophy, but I hear you. I do hear you. Sergio said, why do we want to buy Longley for 6 million? Ridiculous, because he is cheap. I really hope we don't. I hope we don't. It's up to Postecoglou, I'm guessing, at this stage. Get in any questions you've got. If you put a Q, a capital Q before and then answer the question, I will star them and get to many as possible to ensure that it gets read out immediately. That's what the super chat button is for. And there are 197 of you in it and only 41 likes. Come on, that's less than 25%. If we could have one big push to smash that like button, that would be much appreciated. And let's try and end the show on 5,725 subscribers. We're on 5,711 right now. So let's get another 14 subscribers. Anyone that hasn't, if you could go and smash that button, that would be amazing. True, but their money is from past success. This is stolen funds via corrupt sponsors. Just a fact. Well, Garage Classics, I hate to let you know how it works. It's not just a fact because they've not been found guilty of anything yet. Just so you know how a court of law works, you have to be found guilty. So not just a fact. Again, another little silly thing that you put in there to make yourself feel better. We always want to knock people that do really well, don't we? Have you noticed that? As a football community, we love knocking achievement. We find ways we find ways to big up lack of achievement, but always want to knock achievement. And that's life, right? That's jealousy, that's life, that's bitterness. RB said, for me, John Stones has been elevated to the levels of JT Rio. Some would say with what he's done with England, he surpassed them. I think John Stones has developed wonderfully. I really agree with you. I think he's a fantastic footballer. And again, another one that was written off. He's got mistakes in him. Look at him. He's a fantastic footballer. He really, really is. Vinny said, big up, Savva. I hope you're well. Hope you're well too, my man. Matthew said, morning to you, Matthew, as well. Ozzy Adam has said, so it appears Ange is back from holidays and on the tools already. Yeah, they said he's not officially starting until July, right? But he was there doing the video. We're gonna talk about that this morning. We're gonna get around to a lot of things. But yeah, I can't imagine even if he was on holiday that he wouldn't be answering his phone and wouldn't be making stuff happen. But hey, that's just me. Lou Baker said, morning, Savva, great final last night. Thoroughly enjoyed the game and no VAR needed. Wasn't it lovely to not have VAR prominent in the game? Yes, I do look like Kevin Keegan. I'm not sure how, but why not? Let's go for it. To be honest, I feel like our celebration for a Carabao Cup will be far greater than their celebration for the Champions League. I guess that's what happens when you win things year in, year out, right? Yeah. We'll get around to this as well. Yuri Tielemans has signed for Aston Villa. They're starting to build a bit of a squad there. I told you the other day. Everyone knocked me. They're starting to build a bit of a squad. There's a few questions about Jadon Sancho. I'll get to Jadon Sancho in a minute. Imagine having a billionaire owner for over 20 years and achieving absolutely nothing. Levy's Tottenham. Yep. Tom, I don't know what to say. Yep, absolutely. Thoughts on Lukaku? I think Lukaku serves his purposes. I think Inter Milan... The thing is, there's two ways of looking at this. He missed a couple of chances, but Inter Milan were much better when he was on the pitch. He won a lot of things in the air, bullied the centre-backs, and caused havoc. Is he the most clinical? No, but he has scored a lot of goals in his career. I think he gets a lot of hate because, again, for me, I think that we either classify them as shit or brilliant, and I think sometimes there's something in the middle. Let us get KK from FC Sheriff. I don't know anything about this guy, I'm afraid, Claude. I don't know who KK is. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Rodri is brilliant. Don't think he had a great game yesterday. Brother and Co had a really strong game. I disagree. I thought Rodri was superb in there. I disagree. I feel like you just want to discredit anything I say, Garage Classics. It does get tedious. I could literally sit here and say it's Sunday morning and you'll find a way to tell me it's Monday. And unfortunately, that's what you do. I don't think there was much quality into the last 15. Inter pressed so high and City's lovely play just weren't there. I disagree. I thought it was a very tactical game. I just think if we're going by clear-cut chances, it's different. I agree with Claude on this. It was a very good game, very tactical from both teams. Smudge Dog 8 says, Savva, it didn't surprise me that they struggled with a defensive team with wing-backs. They struggled with us. I think it stops the ebb and flow of City, doesn't it? A team like Inter Milan, who defend magnificently. It stops the ebb and flow. But what you've got to give City is they keep going. They keep going. They keep playing their way. And then the goal was a really well-worked goal in the end. So it's what they do. Ethelston has said, hey, Sav, that looks like the England shirt from 80 to 84, 82 World Cup finals. It is indeed, my friend. It is indeed. Garage Classics is back and said, wait, PSG could win it in the next 3 years. Then what? Yeah, but they could, but they haven't. This is the point. The point is they haven't. Spurs could win the Premier League, but they haven't. You know, I think this PSG team is miles off winning a Champions League. I don't think they're the cohesive unit. I don't think they're as good as everyone thinks. I think that they bought too many mega stars with not enough teamwork, if I'm brutally honest. Which goes to show just chucking money at it, you need time, you need cohesiveness. I don't understand you. You always really find a way to look at the negative of success. But yet, if I say anything about Spurs, you back it up like with an iron fist. Big up, Mohammed said, big up Savva and hit the like button, people. Yes, please do. Thank you to the 3 people that are subscribed. Let's get another 3 or 4 subscribers in the next 5 minutes, shall we? And there's exactly 200 of you in here and only 59 likes. Please smash that like button. Chris Beresford, one of my all-time favourite people in the world, has come out and said, question, let's hope that we are busy progressing a deal for Alex Scott. That would be another opportunity missed if not. I agree. I want Spurs to now start looking at these players, Chris. I'm not saying we only have to look at these players, but I think Alex Scott, whenever I've seen him this year for Bristol City, looks a proper footballer. He looks really, really talented. People will respond to this, Chris, saying who, but I watch a lot of football, as you know, and I know you do as well down there in the Championship, and he's a talented lad. Absolutely, jealousy is everywhere. It is very, very. We're very jealous of people. It's sad in a way. Again, look, just ways to discredit. Jay Jr. said, Sav, in your opinion, come the first game of the season, how many new players are in the 11? I hope Ange doesn't have to put square pegs in round holes with our players and his tactics. I'd like to see 4 or 5 in the 11, if I'm honest, Jay Jr., and I'd like to see 8 or 9 through the door. I don't know, though. I mean, we need to move quick, right? Because I believe the season starts in 8 weeks, doesn't it? Is it 8 weeks, 9 weeks? Lot of work to do. Lot of work to do. Lot of work to do on the likes. Smash the likes, people. This is really, really tight. Paul said, can you give Terry Dyson a mention, Savva? We should be bigging him up now while he's still with us. Sure. Absolutely. Big up to Terry Dyson. Absolutely big up. We can big up whoever we would like to. Big up. 6 wins to win the FA Cup. Can we do it? 6 wins to win the FA Cup. Oh, I see what you mean. Can we win the FA Cup? Who knows? It's all about the luck of the draw. And the problem is you're always going to have top teams in there, aren't you? Liverpool, City, United, these teams go strong in these competitions these days. So we'll see. Absolutely. I thought he was superb last night, John Stones. I think apart from one misplaced pass, I thought he was excellent. Very good at receiving possession. Very good with the ball. Top player, John Stones. Really, really good player that's been, again, people want to have a go at Pep. Look at his coaching of players. Look how he makes them better. That's what a coach does. Mark Cousins said, big up Savva, the shirt reminds me of Brian Robson. 20 seconds against France in 82. It was the red one, though. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there. Big up Mark Cousins. Mr. Post Office has said, whilst it has not been proved yet, the City have cheated. There's a lot of charges and evidence. It's weird that it doesn't get discussed enough. How tainted, and everyone just says how wonderful they are. But what does everyone do otherwise? What does everyone do? Let's wait and see what the outcome of it is first. They've won a treble. They win league titles. They win competitions. I don't know what we're meant to do. It's not the players' fault. It's not the manager's fault. I don't know what people are meant to do. Yeah. Daniel said, do you think Newcastle will be doing this in 10 years? I think they could. I think it's just going to become harder and harder for it to happen, Daniel, if I'm honest. I think going back 5-10 years, there weren't many billionaires chucking money at it like this. There was billionaires owning football clubs, but they weren't chucking money at it. Chelsea and Man City kind of bucked that trend. Obviously, Real Madrid and Barca always spend big. PSG then entered the fray. I think it will become harder to do, but hey, if you've got the will, if you've got owners that really want to win, then anything is possible, right? Where are we? Kudos has said, being a City fan must be boring. At what point does winning trophies become routine and not as fun to watch? Give me that any day of the week over what we see. That, for me, is a really strange comment, Kudos. I can't imagine the feeling of winning things ever gets boring. Sorry, I don't understand that at all. I feel like that is what fans tell themselves of clubs that don't win things. I don't see any unhappy Man City fans. Good morning to Chris. Big up, mate. Hope you are well. Raya, Onana or Pickford? Raya, I don't think Onana's going to join Tottenham. I think he's got bigger fish to fry. Pickford is okay, but for me, Raya seems to be the obvious one. Garage Classics is back again. So I'm not knocking City. I'm just not having this idea it's some sort of phenomenal achievement. Alex Ferguson treble winners only contain 5 youth players with quality signings thrown in. It's such a lazy narrative. Alex Ferguson was at Man United for how many years until he won a treble? How many years of building? How many years of adding top quality players all over the park? I feel like it's just anything we can to knock. If it's not if it's not a phenomenal achievement, why have only 2 clubs in England done it in the history of English football? If it's not a phenomenal achievement, dude, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, but you're really salty. You're bitter. You're very, very bitter. I'd love you to come on one day and talk because you're really, really bitter. They did. I mean, credit to them. I thought they were defensively excellent. My worry about them the whole time, Chris, was that tactic only works when you're 0-0. And the moment that goal went in, I just felt like, what have they got? Daniel said it wasn't classic Pep City, but the scary thing is they can now win ugly, which 1-2 seasons ago I could see them losing. Daniel, bang on. This is the worry. This is the way everyone's knocking them for, oh my God, it wasn't classic Man City. But they didn't concede a goal. They dug in and they looked let's be fair, a couple of scares at the end. Other than that, in the game, I didn't think Inter the stats will show Inter had 14 shots. If you actually watch it, how many of them were actually troubling? I mean, Ederson made the 2 great saves at the end, but yeah, I completely agree with this. Again, look, it's just knocking people. It's just knocking people for knocking people's sake. They were poor. Haaland was a joke. Why was Haaland a joke? What I don't understand what's happened here. We'll talk about Erling Haaland in a minute. Big up Philly 2109. Claudia said people are not giving Inter credit. They could not play the free-flowing football themselves. Very tactical because Inter could hurt them. And in my opinion, Milan had the better chance. I think Inter Milan were absolutely superb in the defensive sense. I just didn't think they had anything going forward. If I'm honest, I thought once Lukaku came on, he rattled the centre halves, different prospect to Dzeko. But I think I've never known a team as good as Man City that win everything get put down as much as they are. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of the people doing the putting down are Spurs fans that are so jealous. We are just so jealous. Again, let's dispel this myth. If you have a look at what Fergie spent, Fergie was spending massive money, but it was a different era. Fergie was spending huge on players like Wayne Rooney, Rio Ferdinand, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Juan Sebastian Veron. Please do your research because it's a different game of football today. Now you have to spend those sums of money to get top players. But even then, do you know how many signings Man City have made over 65 million? 1. Jack Grealish. You look at Chelsea. You look at Liverpool. You look at Man United. These clubs have got players all over the park over 65 million. Man City have got 1. Isn't it funny how you don't give him any credit for a Kanji at 15 million? Yeah? Julian Alvarez at 15 million. Right? No one gives credit for that. Phil Foden coming through the youth team. Cole Palmer coming through the youth team. We don't give any credit for anything that people do well. It's just belittling. Big up to Daniel who said, I've lost my voice. This club, man, I still can't believe we just won a treble. Fair play. Good. Well done to you, boys. Well done. Thoroughly deserved. Absolutely proud to be a Geordie. Said that's just not true. Fergie broke the record 3 times in a very short period of time. I know. Problem is, proud to be a Geordie. People don't do their research. They just speak. Fitzpatrick has said, Football Heritage TV, you should be the last person preaching about jealousy. You league gonna want to be as jealous of most big YouTubers out there. You league gonna want to be as jealous of most. I mean, I think you're trying to put me down. I think you're trying to do it without being able to write a coherent sentence in English. But other than that, good attempt. Really enjoy that. A Lee Gunner wannabe. Let me send this to Lee Gunner. Hang on. I'm going to send this to Lee Gunner because I love Lee. He cracks me up so much. I don't know why anyone's a Lee Gunner wannabe. Let me send this to him. Hang on. Here we go. Hello, mate. I'm live on air. Just thought I'd quickly message you this. Apparently, I'm a jealous Lee Gunner wannabe. So you've made it, mate. I'm your idol. Speak to you in a bit. What an idiot. What an idiot this person is. Philly 2109 has said, what were thoughts on Levy's speech following Ange's introduction? The Davis thing was concerning, especially with Davis having signed a new contract. A pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. Absolutely pinch of salt I take with any of Levy's comments. I liked the interview with Ange. We're going to go on to that in a minute. I promise you. We really, really are. Alan Sibley said, wasn't Stones close to be shown the door at City a while back? I don't know if that's true, but there were lots of grumblings about him. Yeah. Again, yeah, I agree. Only 8 clubs in the history of football. And by the way, Pep is now the only manager to have won a treble with 2 teams. But he's a really bad coach, really bad manager that just relies on money. By the way, some of the questions, I'm not ignoring them. I am saving them at the back. Dennis the Great has said, Savva, I can see City winning the Champions League and the league again next season. People that think this will be a one-off Champions League with City are deluded. Yeah, even if not next year, I can see them winning it again very soon. They're just frightening. And the fact that they didn't play their best last night and managed to not concede and win should scare fans. Rafa said this City team is probably the best Premier League team I've ever seen. I agree. I think they're just ridiculous all over the park. And defensively, they look solid. And that's a huge thing. I think City always look good going forward. But I think they've found a way now to change that. So, hey, it's just interesting for me. I just find Spurs fans, whenever I speak to fans of other clubs, they always say to me the one thing about Spurs fans is they find us all so salty, find us all a little bit bitter because we don't win things. Paul Jones, good point, has said they deserve to win the treble because they are the best at the moment. It's up to everyone else to try and stop them. Of course it is. Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe. There is indeed. Let's compare eras. Shearer went to Newcastle for a world record transfer fee of, I think, was 14 million. Yeah, I think it was about 15 million at the time. It was a world record. It is what it is. What's the elephant in the room, Garage Classics? I don't understand. Garage Classics, I'd love to know how old you are because you find the negative in everything. You find the negative in anything. Just want to say, the interesting thing for me is, and a question I'll ask all of you, there's so many people in the chat. Georgie George has said, Savva, I'm an Aussie Arsenal fan. I clapped United and City when they both won the treble. You have to take your hat off. I just think sometimes you look at achievement and you think, brilliant, well done. But people want to knock it, which is fine. People want to knock it. I think a lot of the older fans I see in the comments are very gracious with it. I think a lot of the younger fans, you can tell. You can just tell. But hey, it is what it is. 2 things. First of all, Pep being only the second manager, the first manager of all time to win a treble with 2 different teams. And both of his teams were absolutely sublime and ridiculous to watch. That the 2 best footballing teams I've seen in my lifetime is Man City and Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. And he's put both of them together. Don Arse TV says, Savva, it is City didn't play well or they played well, but Inter was just better. I don't think Inter were better. I think Inter had a game plan. I think Inter's game plan frustrated Man City, but I didn't feel until the 75th minute that Inter had really any oomph to go forward. And as I've said before, that's a real difficult tactic to pull off. If you sit back and put 10 men behind the ball, that's great. The moment you go a goal down, things change. Let's have a look. Where are we now? And the other thing I'd like to ask the questions. Yeah. I get. So I'm going to stop reading out this guy's comments. You're not a self-hating Spurs fan. I don't know what that means. I really, really don't know what that means. Yeah, I agree, David. He is the greatest coach I've ever seen as well. Look at the way the players talk about him that work with him. Look at the way the players talk about Pep Guardiola's coaching. And does it with money. Everyone does it with money. I hate to break the news to people. Liverpool had to go out and buy an £80 million centre-back and an £80 million goalkeeper. But everyone said they done it brilliantly. They spent money. They spent money all over the park, same way City did. Man United have spent more than Man City in the last decade, and look at them. What are they doing? So I just do find it funny. I want to talk about Phil Foden, by the way, who I thought was excellent when he came on last night. Phil Foden is 22 and has 14 major honours. 14 major honours by the age of 22. Now, Ryan Giggs holds the record for 35 in this country, 35 major honours. Will Phil Foden go on to beat that? He's 22 years of age and has 14. He could win the Charity Shield, which counts in the honours. That could be 15 by the time he starts next season. And you wouldn't put it past City winning 1 or 2 more pots next season, would you? So, Peter said, Sav, do you not think there's a problem with the same title winners every year? I think it's the same in every league apart from the Italian league, Peter. That's what I think, is you've got one team who is so elite that no one else can stop them. Bayern Munich do it. PSG do it. Spain share it between Madrid and Barca. England is now becoming a one-team league. We are, slowly but surely. People always go, oh, those leagues over there, only one team can win it. But over here, we're starting to see the same. People don't want to acknowledge that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I don't think there's what we can do. Where are we? Let's get. I've got some questions that I'm storing up, so please don't think I've forgotten about them. I love this guy. I just don't. Ancelotti, Fergie, and Mourinho ahead of Pep. Easy for me. I just can't take. I can't take anything you say seriously. Pep Guardiola is just. If you don't understand how he coaches players better and the football his team plays, I just can't help you. Yeah, Claudia says Pep got rid of Jesus, Cancelo, and Zinchenko and Sterling and still won a treble. Yet we want to hold on to Darren Sanchez. Absolutely. Yeah. Agreed, Tony. Pep is a genius, and it's not just about buying expensive players. It has to work. We've already said this, right? Leah said, you're such a contrarian defending Pep. What am I defending? There's nothing to defend. He's done it. I don't know why people are so angry. Why are so many of you so angry? Like, why? What is it that we don't like? I don't get it. Some very, very, very strange people out there that just want to have their 2 cents worth. It is what it is. Jamal said, every big club in England is owned by multi-billionaires. Nothing is stopping them from trying to compete. Jamal, agreed. We've seen Man United try and do it in the last decade. Look what's happened. Right? We've seen it. Madrid and Barca spend huge sums of money. They're not playing like City. So I wouldn't mind, but everyone makes it out like City, the only club that spend money. And they're not. And I bet a lot of people don't realise how much money they make back through player sales. I don't think people do their research, as I said. I really, really don't, Jamal. I think people do any research. They come out with these statements, but they don't really see what's going on. Good morning to you as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Loves music. Big up to yourself, sir. I said 2 teams who have cancelled each other out, separated by a world-class strike. That's what the best teams do. Fair play to City. They deserve the treble. Agree with all of that. Hod God Tennis said, good morning all. Brian Clough is the greatest coach I've ever seen. Given the resources he had, he wants, I mean, yeah, what a legend of the game Brian Clough is. What he did at Derby, then to go and do it again at Forest was quite simply sensational. Top manager, but lots of people wouldn't have heard of him. Danny, big up Dan, and said Pep is the best overall manager ever. He tops Fergie for me. I agree. I don't think Ferguson can coach like Pep can. I think Ferguson was a wonderful manager. I just think Pep has got it all. The coaching side of it is frightening. David has said, I thought my man of the match was Stones. For centre-back to play that role in midfield was fantastic. When City was playing average, Stones was turning, running at players, and his composure was outstanding. Best comment of the day for me. Big up, David. Fitzpatrick, you've got to grow up, my friend. Look, listen, we're all just here trying to chat football, so this will be your last chance. If you want to join in and talk football with us, please do. If you don't, then we'll just block you. Everyone, have you noticed how I fill my chat room with lots of really good people that just want to talk football? So feel free to grow up. That's all you've got to do. Just join in chatting football. Lucky Singh, there really are some strange people in this world. Honestly, that so many haters in life. Paul Larson comes in and says, I don't think it's what we want that we want to hold on to Darren Sanchez. I think nobody else wants them. Could be a lot to that. Big up Josh Gain. Hope you're well. Craven Moorcock has said, oh God, I've just seen the name. I won't be reading that out. Any silly names I won't read out. I know the ref could have booked players earlier if he went by the book, but he wasn't intimidated by the Italians, so he had a good game. Yeah, I think it was a difficult game to manage last night. I think there was some simulation. I think there was a lot of play acting, but, he got a few of them wrong, I think. But overall, I think he had a decent enough game. Brad has said, if we only signed 3 players, what positions would you like? Goalkeeper, centre mid, attacking midfielder. Centre back, attacking midfielder. Hugo Boss said City just pay big wages, transfer wise, they better than United. I agree. Other than Grealish, as I said, no one over 65 million. No one. And you think our record transfer was what did we pay for Richarlison and Ndombele? I think that's the thing. Pep will get the players in that 40 to 60 million bracket that he knows that he can bring through. Then he also gets a few at 15 million. You look at Alvarez. Yeah, you look at Akanji, right? He gets some good players. You look at that left back Moreno that will play more next season. It's just what people do. There are lots of questions I will be coming to in a minute, so please bear with me. LJ, we must have been watching a different game. I thought John Stones was sensational last night. Saw a lot of misplaced passes and he was dispossessed 3 times. There was that wayward forward run with a misplaced pass. I mean, but we're nitpicking. Overall, he was brilliant. Right, Fitzpatrick, I told you. See you later. You're getting blocked. You're an idiot. There you go. You've gone. Sorry, Fitzpatrick. You had your chance. Football podcast. So big up, Savva. I'm an Arsenal fan. Love your channel. Big up. Welcome here. People, my channel will always be for sensible football fans. I don't have kids in here. I don't have people that want to talk silly. Let's talk football. Ozzy Adams said, what's the timeline for Bentancur return? Will he make the start of the season? I don't think he's going to make the start. Apparently, he's not going to be back in full training until November, which means we probably won't see him until December, which means we won't see the best of him next season, unfortunately, in my humble opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Melvin has said at Garage Classic, Pep built that Barca team, that City team twice. Pep has won less UEFA Champions League. He'll win more. Paulie has said Pep develops players. The job he has done with Grealish, Ake, Stones, 3 players that were all written off. I saw Spurs fans in the summer saying they wouldn't want Nathan Ake. Look what a wonderful player he is now. He was always a good player, but look how Pep has developed him. Kevin has said, so many fools saying Pep only wins because of money. If it was that easy, Chelsea wouldn't be 12th after spending 600 million. PSG would have won the Champions League. Style of play is coach, not ball. Big up, Kevin Kate. Spot on with that, my man. Spot on with that. Yes, I agree with this, Claude. I thought Acerbi was sensational. I thought all of Inter defended well. Forget Bastoni, though. This guy I thought was sensational last night. Mr. Post Office, sorry, how much did Erling Haaland cost? If you want to go there and say players with all the add-ons and their signing on fees and their salaries and everything, you could do that for every player at every club. But the transfer fee was under 65 million. You can't pick and choose the way you have it. It's not about being naive. That's what the transfer fee was. That was the fee they paid for him. Troy has said, I don't understand the boo boys on Pep. Look at Barca, Bayern and City. Massively successful in the last 20 years. What do they all have in common? Troy, I know that lots of Spurs fans hate Troy. Lots of Spurs fans hate. Yeah, Fitzpatrick was an Einstein, wasn't he? Hotspur 82 said ambitious clubs with ambitious owners who back their managers to reach their goals. Watching City last night shows how far behind we are. Oh, watching Arsenal shows how far behind we are. And look at Arsenal. They're massively behind Man City. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. Just quickly, we've got a super chat in here from Kundinio Abdallah, who said 100 points, 98 points, plus domestic treble along B2B Pep. Absolutely. People want to knock it. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. I've seen jealousy a lot. I see a lot of jealousy from Spurs fans. Gareth Cassick's, this one, Chelsea are the most successful team for the last 20 years. I wonder how they did it. So Gareth Cassick's, doesn't this show then? All of the successful teams spend massive money. So when you're singling out Pep, it doesn't make sense. Chelsea spent big. Man United spent big. Man City spent big. Arsenal, even Arsenal, look what they've done in the last 10 years. They've spent loads of money. Bayern Munich have spent big. Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG. This notion that it's only Pep that spends big is just wrong. Lucky thing is that Inter Milan defense was, people know that. They could be, but they haven't yet. You know, other clubs. Why haven't Man United, who have spent more than City, why aren't they in this position? Why aren't they in this position? If it's that easy. If it's that easy. Let's move on. Savva, I feel people don't realize how hard it is to win while playing beautiful. Just to add Bernardo Silva's elite. Oh, Bernardo Silva is absolutely elite. Oh my God, what a footballer. What a footballer. Phenomenal footballer, this guy. Yeah, Mr. Post Office said it's not salaries, it's agent fees. I'm sure it is, but let's be honest, if we did this for every player that was bought around the world, then this would just be the same for them. I don't understand. Like, why can't fans like you turn around and go, they deserved it, they were the best? I don't understand why we have to find reasons, because whoever's up there next, you'll find a reason to hate them. People hate success. People hate successful people. It's life. Nigel Pure Coy said, morning Savva, congrats to City last night. Would love that to be Spurs before I'm gone. Me too, mate. Can't see it at all. Me too. Big up everyone in the chat. There are currently 374 people in the chat. Only 108 likes. Smash the like button, people. Let's get to 200 likes as quickly as possible. And subscribers, thank you. 3 more people have subscribed. We are 10 away from the 5,725. If you haven't subscribed, please already do. Yeah. Again, I don't know why people like to knock that one either. Everyone knocks the Arsenal Invincible sides. Oh, they drew loads of games. So? They didn't lose a game and won the league. You've got to give them respect for that. Too much hate. This isn't about Man City. This is too much hate for everyone. Everyone hated Man United. Why? Because they were so successful. Everyone hated Chelsea. Why? Because they were successful. People talk about chucking money in it, we make it sound like Spurs don't spend money. Like, do you know what I mean? We make it sound like we go out every window and just get 7 free transfers. Difference is these clubs spend properly. They spend it well. Troy said, as an Aussie, I'm obviously a little biased, but I'm really excited for this year because we now have a manager who models himself around Pep and his style of play. Imagine if Levy even backs him a bit. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a long process. I really do think it's going to be a long process, but I like the manager. I really, really do. Paul, I agree. We spend big at times, but the difference is we buy crap with no plan. With no plan. City have a plan. Everyone Man City buy, there is a plan in mind for them. Pep doesn't often get it wrong with players. Just saying. Pep with Barca won the UEFA Champions League with 9 graduates from the Messiah. Guy's the GOAT. Exactly. LJ has said, I don't think we can call Stone's performance great when I saw so many mistakes. He was good defensive, not great. I disagree. I thought he was superb last night. I thought he took a lot of ownership, got on the ball, received it when many players couldn't, drived forward. He made a couple of mistakes. Who doesn't? But he was brave on the ball. He tried to drive forward. Sorry, we must have been watching a completely different game, because I thought, like Rio Ferdinand said after the game, he said he thought John Stones was superb. I agree. Melvin has said, respectfully, a lot of people in this chat have a real victim mentality. I can't agree more. Can't agree more. I'm just a little disappointed that Man City didn't put them to the sword. They were only in third gear all night, really. Yeah, I mean, look, it's difficult because Inter Milan were so well organised as a defensive unit, and they didn't come out to play, did they? They came to defend, and that's really tough to do that. But look, City got their well-worked goal. The rest is history. Hesbin has said, the day Spurs fans start to recognise where they are and why is the day that the top six clubs should start to get worried. It makes you wonder why all these City players want to leave. Jesus, Zinni, Sterling, Bernardo and Gundogan. Odd. I don't think it's odd at all. Jesus wanted to play regularly. Zinchenko wanted to play regularly. Sterling had done his stint and moved on. Bernardo and Gundogan have been there for how long and won everything. And by the way, haven't left yet. Odd comment. Again, finding ways to knock it. It's finding ways to knock what they do. Pep Guardiola is the master at moving players on. Everyone said this about Sane, Ferran Torres, Cancelo. Oh my God, they've got no left back. Look what he managed to do. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Spurs have spent enough money to win things. It is how it's been spent the issue. Identity, philosophy, and execution of your plan. Do not change direction when you hit bumps in the road. Exactly, Paulie. Problem is we don't have an identity or philosophy, and we can't execute what we don't have. So I agree with you completely. If Tottenham had broken FFP, they would be multiple EPL champions, possible European Cup winners. No, we wouldn't. We don't have a plan. We don't have a plan. Laporte, I told you, anything. I don't talk about the Twitter days. This is nonsense. It's a silly rumour that went round. Anyone that brings it up will be blocked from now on. This is meant to be a place to talk about football. Grow up. I know you're probably sitting in your mum's basement, but grow up, all right? Grow up, or I will block you the same way. Phil Coy said, Diaz for me has been the best defender in the world this year. Oh, I thought he was brilliant again last night, Phil. Him and Acerbi, two monster performances at the back. Kevin said, would I still take Brozovic at Spurs all day, every day, and a month on Sundays? Yeah, of course. He's brilliant. He's better than anything else we've got, isn't he? Boxer said Tottenham spent several windows buying 0 players while City broke 115 charges. Tottenham spent 2 windows not buying any players. I don't know what Tottenham have got to do with Man City. I'm really baffled by this. Are we saying if we had bought some players in that window that we would be where Man City are now under these owners at Spurs? How are we not learning our lesson? Martin, I think we've addressed this. When you say I'm cherry picking comments, we've discussed this. Let's wait and see what happens. If they get done for it and deducted points or whatever, then they get done for it. But this is not on the players or the manager. So they're the people that everyone's having a go at. The players and the manager have got nothing to do with this, do they? So let's see. Let's see what comes of it. I'm not cherry picking. Josh Gaynor said, all it is jealousy, Savva. People can't respect teams that are successful because their team aren't doing great. Can't agree more. Can't agree more. I haven't seen this, but it does sound right. Savva, did you see the video of the Arsenal fan asking Levy to stay? Listen, if I was a fan of another club, I'd want Daniel Levy to stay at Spurs as well. Thomas Taylor says, Savva, Arsenal fan here. Love your views. Also loving the top. Thank you, Thomas. Nice to actually... what always baffles me, it's not just me. When I look at some other YouTubers as well, whether that be Henry, Lee Gunner, whether that be Stell, whether that be Rant, whether that be whoever, people give up their time, put a lot of effort in, and the hate towards them is somewhat strange. Like, somewhat strange. The questions that are asked, and people can't keep it football. Laporte, I've told you one more time, you're blocked. There's nothing to silence. They are silly rumours, Laporte. There's nothing to silence. I've told you before, one more comment like this, you're gone. One more, all right? Everyone else is talking football. Absolutely, David. That is for certain. Pep wouldn't throw 50 million plus 10 million add-ons on Richarlison. Absolutely. Instead, he buys Julian Alvarez for 15 million. Julian Alvarez for 15 million. Absolutely, Tony. Losers hate winners. It takes a special mindset to be a winner. Absolutely. I disagree. I thought the first half, I thought he did have a poor game. I thought in the second half, I thought he really, really dragged them up the pitch and draws a lot of fouls. When you're saying the guys just won a treble, right, and starts in every big game for Man City, again, we're trying to find negatives when there aren't any. And when Pep was asked about Grealish's goals a month or so back, what did Pep say? He said he's not in the team to score loads of goals. There you go. But Phil, it makes me laugh. You find negatives when there aren't any. When it's Spurs, you manage to find positives. You were telling me the other day that Joe Rodon deserves to be in R11. Just baffling, absolutely baffling how we find negatives in everything winners do. Bernardo Silva was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I said apparently no one can compete with City, yet 3 clubs have spent more than them in the last 5 years. The reason no one is competing with them is because top 4 is good enough for the other top clubs. Absolutely. If you've got a manager and a plan in place throughout the entire club like City have, you're going to win things. Thank you, Jordan. Big up, Savva. Love a lot of views on football and how you analyse without bias. I try to, and a lot of Spurs fans don't like it. I can remove my Spurs hat. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. Thank you. Yeah, I like to think I'm not bitter. I give credit where it's due to every football club, because as much as people want to laugh at Arsenal, for example, I don't know how I can sit and laugh at a club that is so much better run than my club. I don't know how I can. Is what it is. Martin says, anyone that celebrates a team winning anything of 115 cheating charges against them is epic trolling. I don't think I'm not celebrating it. It's just a great achievement. You have to acknowledge that. I also remember having my first beer as well. It's okay. Mr. Post Office said Pep is the best. He has proved that. That is why so many of his disciples are doing so well. I just think there is some irregularity around their transfers. However, that has nothing to do with Pep. No, it's not. This is the thing. It makes business sense to be a self-hating Spurs fan. Could somebody explain to me in the chat what this means? A self-hating Spurs fan. You attract rival fans who can join you on the dumping of Spurs, just like clickbait articles. So Garage Classics, what I read this as is, what I do is I tell the truth about Spurs, which makes other people that aren't biased like you realise that I'm talking the truth. That's what it is. You don't like it. Would you like me to come on here and celebrate how well Spurs have done in going that way for the last few years? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to celebrate that? Again, I offer you to come on. You don't. But this self-hating, it's a really weird thing to say. It's a really, really weird thing to say. Real Madrid have a net spend less than Spurs and West Ham in the last 10 years. Football isn't just about money. Spurs do spend, but it's shambolic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bastoni was good. I thought Bastoni was good. I thought Acerbi was absolute fantastic. I thought he was brilliant. I think Pep said before the game, didn't he, that he'd not been training, and I don't think he was 100%. But yeah, what a fantastic career this man's gone on to have. Smash the like button, people. We've got 142 likes, and please keep smashing the subscribe button. We are 7 away from hitting the 5,725, which was the aim for today's show. Malachi has said, Savva, your content is great. Thank you. You're not a deluded fan. You talk straight facts. Talking of straight facts, I'll be live at 5 p.m. today. That's a lie. 6 p.m. today with Terry Flewers from the Football Terrace. And we'll be doing a straight facts conversation, one-on-one, me and him. So please join us for that. And at 8 o'clock tonight, I'll be live doing the Spurs review as always. Chris has said Pep is surrounded by brilliant pros like Sixty, Soriano, and Lila. This. Chris, what I like is people just knock the easy thing to knock. Money, money, money. What they've implemented there with the right scouts, the right coaches, the right academy staff, it is not easy to do. Not easy to do, but they do it really well. Man, you have spent more money, don't do it really well. That's the difference. Marcus, big up for the super chat. Thank you so much, my man. As said, Savva, even if Spurs use smart planning, astute recruitment, and a strong team ethos, would that be enough to compete with the likes of City? Not now. No, I don't think so. I think how do you get to that level? How do you get to City's level? It's taken years. This didn't happen overnight for Man City. And all these people going, he must win a Champions League, and it doesn't happen overnight. But now look at them. They are the force in European football. That's years of planning, years of meticulous work. Right, I told you, didn't I? I did tell you. I've just told you. You keep bringing it up, you're blocked. Sorry, you're blocked. Absolute child. Jordan said, Savva, off topic, but I remember on Rant last year, you're an advocate for Potter. Just interested to see, do you think it'll click for Potter at Chelsea? What I was saying about Potter is that I don't think he's a bad coach, but he won't be given the time. He won't be given the time. The Chelsea fans expect winning now. I think Graham Potter's had a very good career to date. I think he will go on to do good things, but fans don't give anyone any time. And I feel for him. I do feel for him in a way. It was a bit of a poison chalice, but yeah, I think again, easy to knock a guy that's had a bad 6 months, but I think he's had a good career. Jamal said, all sport is about winning. Nobody cares about the guy who finished 5th in the Olympics. Only in football, every winner has to be an underdog. Absolutely. David has said, morning, Savva and everyone. Good morning to you, David. Congratulations to Man City and West Ham. Tremendous achievement for both clubs. Absolutely. Custy, I love this. True. Hate is a weak emotion, a sign of failure. Couldn't put it better myself. Why is it a shame for Walker? He got to win the Champions League. I feel sorry for Kane, who stayed at Spurs. I don't feel sorry for Kane, Philly. He handed a transfer request. He could have at any point. He could have handed in a transfer request at any point, Philly. I can't feel sorry for Kane. Kane deserves better, but you've got to make your own bed. You've got to make your own bed. And as I said yesterday, the number of people at Spurs that go, oh, but he wants the goal record. Are you telling me he's not watching what he saw last night and thinking, I want that over a goal record? I just can't. I don't buy it. Paul G said, brilliant content as always, Savva. Grealish will always draw fouls, get the free kicks in those dangerous areas. Paul, and this is what I think so many fans miss when they look at the way he plays, because we've become a world now where it's stat. So people want to beat him about goal scoring. But what he does to draw the fouls, to get you up the pitch, his link-up play with the others is phenomenal. And people just come in with a laser. He wasn't very good. He don't score goals. It's lazy for me. It's really lazy analysis. Keep smashing the likes, people. There's 358 of you in here, which is crazy for a Sunday morning. 153 likes. Smash those like buttons, people. And we've got a couple of another 2 super chats. Rooksy Popper's come in. So thoughts on Saliba signing a new deal. Big up. Yeah, I think it's great news for Arsenal, bad news for everyone else. I think this guy's a tremendous centre-back. I think he's going to go on to be very good. Limited mistakes, composed on the ball, composed in his defending, good build, strong, quick, good positionally. I like him. I think they've got a really good player for years on their hands, Rooksy Pop. But thank you so much for the super chat. Always a big supporter. And another big supporter is Santu. Thank you so much, Santu, for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very busy in here today. Lots of comments. I said to the people I was watching the game with last night, I said, I know I'll do a show in the morning. And I said, and they're not YouTubers. And I said, what will happen is there'll be so much hate for the success. And they said, no, there won't. I was like, there will be so much hate for people for the success. And that's how it is. Joe Roden reminds me of a young Baresi. Yeah, I'm starting to block people. Yeah, people are silly. I think in the whole, I think what we've created over the last year is a channel where a lot of more mature people come on and have a good football chat. For example, David, you and I, we don't agree on everything, right? But we always have a good chat about it. He said, I think the only reason Grealish looked average in the first half is because the balls into him were too slow. And when he got it, was pinned on the touchline and his teammates didn't move to receive. David, I agree. Great analysis of that. I think when they played with a bit more tempo in the second half, he was getting the ball earlier and he was able to draw the fouls from the defenders. There's a reason he's the most foul player, because he draws the fouls. He is, I don't know what this is either, by the way. I don't know, a self-hating. I don't understand it. But hey. Basic, yes, it is kudos. It's a Spurs fan who tells the truth, is self-hating about Spurs. It's funny. Yeah, so it's funny. Star-Lord said it's cool being a fan. Soon there won't be rivals in football, fans going soft. So telling the truth means you're soft. Does it? Or does it just show that you are young and can't tell the truth? I don't know. I think it's an age thing. I really do think it's an age thing. Phil said, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I think he's a great player. The only thing he needs to complete his all-round game is goals. With Roden, I just put it out that he hasn't had a chance. Yeah, but you can't. Jack Grealish he'll add goals to his games if he needs to, but why does Pep Guardiola start him in every massive game? Why? Why? He's clearly not worried about the goals. I don't think you need to be. It just makes me laugh. And with Roden, I'm sorry, mate. No Spurs fan can tell me that Joe Roden should be given a chance. He is awful. Revenant said, a lot of losers in your fan base, Savva. They're just jealous. That's all it is, Revenant. They're jealous people. Danny, again, yeah, City have got great scouts. I mean, you look, where'd they pluck Alvarez from? Do you know what I mean? Like, they just do it. Akanji at 15 million. What a signing that is. But no one talks about that, do they? No one talks about Akanji at 15 million because it's easier to talk about Grealish at 100. Who else we got? But Phil, why? Why would you like to see him given a fair crack? Have we not seen how bad he is? Like, how can we claim we want Spurs to be better at the same time as saying we want to see Joe Roden in the 11? Like, I don't understand Spurs fans at all. I don't get it. Why would we want to see Joe Roden playing this team? He couldn't even get in the team on loan in the bottom half of the French league. Like, what are we doing here? Philia said, why are Spurs fans moaning about City charges? Did we not have Paratici, whose criminal record was so bad that he was banned worldwide? Fans in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Would I take Jadon Sancho? No, I don't think he's the player we need, if I'm honest. I wouldn't, but I don't know. I don't think there's a lot in that, but hey, Pep's assistant is highly linked to the Leicester City job if it happens. Will be interesting to see what he does. Just quickly, guys and girls, put a yes or a no. Do you think Phil Foden will go on to beat Ryan Giggs' record of 35 trophies at Man United? He's got 14 honours so far at the age of 22. 14 honours in England. That is just absolutely amazing. Sancho and Maddison, 90 million at the club getting ready if Kane goes. Well, let's see if they come in first. I don't think they'll both come in. I really, really don't. Morning, Savva. Where would you expect Tottenham to finish next season with the addition of Maddison? I'd like to see what else we do, Johan, before I commit to positions. I've openly stated I'm not too bothered where we finish next year. For me, I've said it's more about building a team over the next couple of years than worrying about league position. I think it's a young, not you. I think there's a young mentality now that everything is about, we must get Europe. Let's build a club for the long term, shall we? Philly 2109 as if Savva, I believe the fans need a history lesson on Black Wednesday. Mate, I feel a lot of our fans just shoot from the hip when they're saying things. They shoot from the hip without actually understanding facts. I don't think people look into things. They go by a media narrative without looking into things. Corey, big up, mate. Hope you are well. Said Savva, fans like me and you will always have people throwing shit at us for speaking the truth. If you can bear to hear the truth, you've spoken twisted by knives to make trap for fools. I agree. People don't like the truth. And this self-hating Spurs fans, this is an interesting one. Really, really interesting one. Tony Newland said, unfortunately, we're not that great, but good coaching and a few gems in the window could get us challenging for a cup in a few years. I've been a fan since the 70s, and we've always been a cup team. I agree with you. Some good signings, some good coaching, but we've got to get a plan and stick to it. Can't be in 18 months we're changing again. We've got to get a plan and stick to it. Where are we? Savva, is it Tottenham buy badly, or is it they can't convince the top players to sign? It's both. You just because you can't attract the top players in football doesn't mean that everyone else is bad. You know, how did Brighton do it? How did Brentford do it? You know, I think it's about being smart. Liverpool, where did they get Mane from? Southampton. They got Salah from, was it Roma or Fiorentina? You know, I think it's about being smart. Firmino, where did he come from? Jordan Henderson came from Sunderland. Where did these players come from? I don't think it's just about buying top players. It's about buying the right players that fit a system where you've got a plan in place. I agree. I think this is, again, a lazy, childish narrative. He's the most foul player in the league for a reason. You try and get the ball off him. Yeah. Absolutely. Dom Dewsbury. This. Again, Dom, a lot of people don't understand Pep Guardiola teams. He always has this. You always have players that score goals and facilitators. Iniesta was always, oh my God, he doesn't score a lot. You don't need to. His job is, Erling Haaland got 53 goals this season. Yeah, players like Mahrez score goals. Gundogan score goals. It's not... Great point. Savva, who is the best centre-back Spurs have had in the Premier League era? Toby, Jan, Sol or Ledley? Look, if I take all what he did away, Sol Campbell was a monster of a defender. Sol Campbell was phenomenal at centre-half. There's no doubt in it. But again, fans won't allow that opinion because of what he did. Him and Ledley, for me, were a cut above. I would have loved to have seen those two play together for years. Ledley was a one-off. He was a freak. He was unique. He didn't go to ground. He didn't train. He was just a Rolls Royce of a player. Top player. Top player. Sol Campbell was a top world-class centre-back. We can't ignore that. Savva, in your opinion, who's better, player, Maddison or Grealish? I think it's slightly difficult because Grealish is a wide player and Maddison plays in the number 10. But both top players, for me, I think Grealish is... obviously has achieved more. I think Grealish is more consistent. But Maddison, let's see what move he gets, where he goes, and can he do it on a higher level up? But I take both in my team in a heartbeat. There was hate in me last night. I can't lie, out of bitterness, but I've gotten over it overnight. Absolutely. I don't know. I'm not sure he's the player we need, Phil. For me, I look at Sancho and I look at him as another one of those sometimes players on his day, you know, that type of player. And I think we need more consistency, more work rate. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think that's best where our money could go. No matter how much folks hate on City, there are lessons to be learned from on how to build a winning program. Yep, people don't want to see that. People do not want to see that. Keep smashing the like button, people. There's 174. Can we get to 200 in the next 15 minutes? We're only going to go for another 15 minutes. And if I can get 7 more subscribers, that will get me to 5,725. Please smash that subscribe button. It's much appreciated. Tony K has said, by the way, sorry, just quickly before I come back to you, Bobby K is in the house. Bobby K, love Bobby K. Absolutely love that man. Hope you're well. Tony K said, Savva, is this City now taking over the Champions League, the fact they won it, or step too far? I mean, taking over would be if they go on and do it again the next couple of years, but it's given them impetus, certainly, to be the team to be feared, right? And now it can't be thrown at them that they can't get over the line, because they can. So if they go and do it again next year, I think the world of football really has to worry. But when you look at the age of some of the players City have got, you know, Diaz isn't old, Ake's not old, Akanji's not old, John Stones, Rodri, Phil Foden, Grealish, Harden, Haaland, Alvarez. Got players like Palmer coming through. You got players like Rico Lewis coming through. It's worrying. Really, really, really worrying. Hey, it's all football, right? It's just opinions. Kudos said, you don't need goals to be a fantastic player. Look at Dembele, who Spurs fans, including myself, pedestalize. Good word. Pedestalize. I like that. I've never heard that before, but I'm going to use that now. Can we get 2 more subscribers to get to the target of today, which would mean we got 20 subscribers in this show? 2 more. Who's going to do it? Please let me know when you have, so I can thank you. Yeah, we will be stopping at just after 25 past, because this guy needs to go for a personal training session. As I said, join me live at 6 o'clock on the Football Terrace for Straight Facts, just me and Terry Flewers, no panel. And then join me at 8 p.m. tonight for the Spurs review. Well, where are we? This is going to be the interesting thing for me, Dom. This is going to be the interesting thing. It's when Pep leaves. Then you will see all the people that, okay, no, anyone can do it. Then you will see. Look what happened when Pep left Barcelona. They won things. It was never the same team. There was never the same intensity. Chris said, I don't think Foden will, because Pep won't likely be there for many more years. Who knows? Yeah, again, a lot riding on whether or not Pep Guardiola stays. This, spot on. Spurs fans seem to get emotionally attached to players. Pep moves players on, no matter who they are, if he finds a better option. It's about winning. Pep finds the best. This. We have fans that want Roden to be in the squad. We have fans that will cry if Kulusevski's not signed. We have fans that will cry if Son is sold. That's where we are. Tielemans to Villa, I think a good signing for Villa. I think not the right player for Spurs. But I think when you look at the midfielders Villa have got, they've got a bit of everything. They've got some of the flair of Buendia. They've got the grit and hard work and the ball carrying of Douglas Luiz and John McGinn. They've got the pace and the athleticism and the ball and the technical ability of Ramsey. Now they've got Tielemans, who hasn't got the engine, but is a good technician. I think they're building themselves a nice little base of central midfielders there to go into Europe next season in the Premier League. Ledley King is the answer from Dave. Yeah, I mean, listen, I love Ledley King. The thing is, if I take my hate away from what Sol Campbell did, for me, he was just sublime. He was just absolutely ridiculous as a centre-half. But Prince of Somalia said, Savva, you're deluded. I've been called worse. I've been called worse today. Thank you for the subscription. One more to get to the 5,725. Who's going to be that person? Agreed. I like Scott. I agree. I can see the similarities. That is the type of signing I would love. I can certainly make you a mod in the channel. Most of my mods appear to be pretty sensible. But what I would say is please only block people if they are swearing or being rude or talking about something silly. So I've just made you a moderator there. If anyone else would like to be a moderator, let me know throughout the shows. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Man City do. I mean, who do they add this year? Who did Tottenham add? That's going to be more the discussion for the Spurs review tonight, by the way, which is why I've not gone into depth about that in this show. Winksy, still a Tottenham player, clinging to us like a leech. Joe Buck said, Pepper's got the owners backing him with a large treasure chest. Makes a big difference. Yeah, but they spend it well. Look at Chelsea. Look at Man United. These clubs also have huge treasure chests and spend more than City. They spend more than City and are nowhere near City. City also make a lot of money through player sales. They make a lot of money through player sales. I think people don't talk about that. Pep should go to PSG, win the Champions League, then go to Spain, win the Euros, then the World Cup, then ride off into the sunset. It's quite a lot of stuff to do there. I don't think I'd like to see him at PSG. I don't know. I just feel like I like him being in the top leagues. I think he's needed in the top leagues. Arteta, company down the road. I don't know. Who knows? Could the tide slowly turn with Ange? Doesn't matter what your name is or where you're from, as long as the team is pumping and for the greater good. I agree. I don't care where he's from. I don't care where he's been. I like the guy. He comes across really, really well. Seems to be a proper football guy. And for as much as I agree with a lot of what, bear with me 1 second, I need to water. As much as I agree with a lot of what Conte said, I want Spurs to stop becoming a media circus. In press conferences, I want it to be about the club, and I thought it just became the Antonio Conte show towards the end. Yeah. So, we're going to go just for 5 more minutes. Tony Cass said, thoughts on Kona and Thuram to LFC. Is it enough for us to get top 4 next year? I think Liverpool get top 4 next year. I think if you look at your form at the back end of this year, I think he's moved Trent Alexander-Arnold into a position where he affects the game more. I think signings like Alexis McAllister. I think, now Nunes has had a year in the league. Diaz has had a year in the league. I think Gakpo's now had 6 months in the league. I think you'll be much better. You'll add players. If you add in players like Kone and Thuram as well, I think Liverpool will be right back up there next year. It was just for you guys. For me, it was just all about you guys sorting out that midfield, possibly adding another defender. When we say Pep needs a checkbook, I hate to tell you, but you're a Man U fan. You spent more money than Pep, and where are you? Again, it's things that come out of people's mouths. No one talks about the young players that Pep brings through, the players that he coaches better. You look, Foden from the youth team, Rico Lewis and Cole Palmer from the youth team. How much better is Ake than when he signed? How much better is Grealish? How much better is Foden? How much better is Haaland's movement? He's a wonderful coach. The belittling is really silly. It's really, really silly. You could make it about Spurs. I'm critical of Spurs. So you're going down, you pick the wrong Spurs fan to try and have that argument with. Spurs are a mess. If anyone watches me, they'll know Spurs are a mess. Savva loves acting like a victim sometimes of his dead negativity. Right. I don't know what that means. I tell the truth. I don't understand. If you don't like the truth, you can go away. But the fact that you've got a footballer's picture as your picture, and then your name is I Need Coffee, tells me you're a troll sitting in your pants in your mum's basement. So grow up. Where is Spurs, pal? But you have mentioned he needs a checkbook. I mean, do you know what? United Red, feel free to add some grammar in there and make that a sentence. Where is Spurs, pal? But you have mentioned he needs a checkbook. Name me a winning manager that doesn't need a checkbook. There you go. Name me a winning manager that repeatedly wins year in, year out that doesn't need a checkbook. Anybody. Before we go in the next 3 minutes. Come on. Anybody. Who? I'm waiting. Let's see. Come on. Managers that don't need a checkbook to win. Laugh aloud, I've got way more football knowledge than you, Savva lad. I mean, you haven't, because what you don't do, this is the thing. What I don't understand with people like you is debate. Have you noticed most of the people, they debate. They bring a point. You just say things that, Savva's negative. It's like, bring a point. Kudos, I don't get it as well. Unfortunately, we do have idiots. And I think the bigger I'm getting, the more I'm getting. I've seen him before. I'm going to block him. It's just silly. Like, do you know what, Dom? I don't want people to agree with everything I say, but I think people need to put a point in. So if I say, I think Grealish is a wonderful player, people just go, oh, he just dives. It's not really a response, is it? It's not really a response. Mate, they're just off Amazon, mate. They're just off Amazon. If you just type in signed football pictures, they come up, or you can type in the player you want. There's a couple more en route as well. Yeah, was said, it's so funny how speaking the truth is seen as negative. Most people nowadays are fickle. It's like some people have to live on a world of unicorns where everything is positive. Bang on. Bang on. This is the thing. So today you think I've been called negative. I've been told that I'm a self-hating Spurs fan. Spurs are a mess. Is there anyone out there in the comments who truly believes Spurs are not a mess of a club right now? Let's be realistic, and we are going to end the show in 2 minutes. But is there anyone that doesn't think Spurs are a mess? If you don't think Spurs are a mess, where have you been living? Kane to United or Madrid? Honest answer. If I was him, I'm going Madrid if the offer comes in. I don't think you turn down Real Madrid. I don't know. I don't understand what loser mentality. What loser mentality? I've been the Spurs owners out since 2007 because I hate the fact that we're never going to win things. I don't understand how that's me having a loser's mentality. I need coffee. You keep saying you've got a lot of football knowledge, but yet none of your posts actually mention anything about football or any rationale. It's okay. So no, we never win anything with England because our players aren't as good as we think, and we've got a really negative manager in charge. God, not the brightest, this lad, is he? Not the brightest. Mr. Povos said, I often agree with Savva, but will only put a comment if I disagree. If Savva sees it, he answers why he disagrees with my point. Absolutely. This is what it's about, back and forth. But unfortunately, when you get a lot of children like this, what they can't do is they can't elegantly put their point across. They can't say, I disagree with that because of boom. Lots of the people do. Like Dave Clark, me and Dave go toe to toe. But me and Dave Clark always have a back and forth in terms of why it's not right. City's treble winning side. I enjoy the football more. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a personal thing. Right. Let's block that guy before we move on because people like this just ruin. Sorry, this guy's going to be blocked. Just ruins the show, doesn't it? Let's block him. And guys and girls, I am going to go there. I have got a PT session. David Clark said a mess means not organised. I think Spurs are deeper in the mud than that. Yeah. I was being kind, Dave. I was being kind. Big up to absolutely everyone, all the sensible people. There you go. The more Livy speaks, the more idiots are born. Absolutely. Listen, we are going to go now. I do need to go to personal training. I will be back, as I said, 6 o'clock. I'll be doing a 30-minute show with Terry Flewers from the Football Terrace on his Straight Talking Facts show. Just me and him. And 8 p.m. is the Spurs review, the same as every Sunday night. Please, on your way out, smash that subscribe button and that like button. If we can get 4 more subscribers, we can surpass the 5,725 and get to the 5,730. And we have managed to get to 198 likes. Let's get 2 more. Thank you very much for all the super chats. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for joining in. Sorry about the idiots. You're always going to get them, and we'll always put them in the mud, as the kids would say. Take care, everyone. See you later. And as always, here's a video of a club, country, winning something.
And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over.